Minister. Minister, I note that this bill in some ways is an exercise in legislative housekeeping, or the dotting of I's and crossing of T's, or tidying up, as you have said yourself. I also note that while government may see this necessary, the members of the Defence Forces have a vastly different view of what is necessary. One serving member said to me today, "What have they got against us? They have nothing to offer us for the future if they only see us through their rear view mirror." Minister, it's words like these that I hear consistently when I speak with members and their representative. But what I also hear is the passion for their service, the commitment and the respect that they have to the duties that they hold. Commitment and respect that they do not see being reciprocated to them by government. The level of pay in the Defence Forces is beyond needing to be addressed and rectified. It is ludicrous that one arm of the state pays their wages and another arm of that same state recognises the pay is so poor they supplement it through welfare supports. One member of our Defence Forces on work and family payment is too many, and the number who are the price of a loaf of bread above the qualifying threshold is a damning indictment. I've spoken with serving members this week who have literally gone without to meet their children's back-to-school costs. And I've no doubt situations like this are replicated across the country based on the current level of employment in the Defence Forces as a whole. Our Air Corps and Navy are short nearly a fifth of the personnel that they require. The unfilled positions in the Army represent over 9% of its strength. It's obvious that pay is a significant factor in these vacancies. Minister, since the outbreak of COVID, our Defence Forces have respectfully, professionally and diligently gone about their duties. They rallied behind their frontline colleagues in the HSE and otherwhere. They have provided tracing, testing, transportation, construction services. Some overseas members saw their return home delayed because of the pandemic. The civil defence volunteers across the country provided tens of thousands of hours of practical assistance to the community, voluntary and statutory sectors. Yet the new vehicles in the civil defence did not come from departmental monies. They came from an application to the Dormant Accounts Fund. Yet again, another arm of the state plugging gaps in the Department of Defence. PD Fora have said there can be little doubt the investment in the greatest resource the Defence Forces has, its members, is an absolute necessity. There is no point in having ships, armoured personnel carriers and new aircraft worth millions sitting in docks, garages and hangars without the crew to man and maintain these valuable assets of the state. We've recently seen JP Morgan advertising a transition programme for those who have left the Defence Forces, because they recognise what successive governments have failed to do: key skills and service. JP Morgan wants their next group of leaders to be result-focused, adaptable, motivated, work well under pressure, and they recognise the qualities of that in our Defence Forces. Ministers, those skills are learned and honed in the Defence Forces, and it is the state who should be valuing them through proper pay and conditions and benefiting from them while members continue to serve and beyond. And it's also vital that those who have served are respected and supported upon discharge. Just weeks ago, we learned that the surviving soldiers of Jadotville will not be awarded the individual medals for bravery recommended by their commanding officer almost 60 years ago. For those who fought in Jadotville, there was no hero's welcome. They were portrayed by some as a national embarrassment, and instead of receiving the full recognition of the courage and competence that they showed, they were isolated, ignored and forgotten. These men helped to shape Ireland's stellar international reputation today for providing well-trained and resilient UN peacekeepers. Minister, this situation must be rectified and those medals awarded. The asks of veterans in comparison to their service is minute. The reference to a veterans policy in the White Paper on Defence in 2015 was a step in the right direction. However, it must now continue to conclusion. Given their service to the state, veterans deserve tangible commitments to assist in their transition to civilian life. A charter must include addressing the needs and securing resources to support employment, housing, health, educational opportunities, and a single point of contact that can provide independent and confidential information and advocate on their behalf. Worryingly, there is no specific data correlated relating to the challenges that veterans are affected by due to their service. We have circumstantial evidence and conjecture regarding the level of marital and family breakdown, suicide, post-traumatic stress, homelessness, substance misuse and dependency, without clear data on which to base an estimate of current need. Future needs of veterans will continue to be failed to be met. What is needed now for our defence forces is an urgency to the work to address the retention and recruitment crisis, address concerns raised by veterans, and ensure those serving in the defence forces are listened to, respected, and guaranteed a level of pay so that they can not only meet the fundamental basic needs of their family, but also ensure that a career in the defence forces is a viable and attractive option for new recruits. Minister, the Government has been warned that unless the situation of recruitment and retention is reversed, the Defence Forces will continue to hemorrhage skilled personnel and find it increasingly difficult to carry out its various roles in protecting state security, our fisheries, overseas peacekeeping missions and the mounting anti-drug trafficking operations. Minister, there's a level of dysfunction in the Defence Forces system. When will real and meaningful policies and actions be put in place to address this?